Well, good morning to you. Meteorologist Art Jarrett here. We have a late day storm or two as we go right through Friday, and more about this coming up in just a moment for you.
Right now, this morning, Trump cuts a suicide hotline that's helped more than 1 million people, while local mental health workers say eliminating the LGBTQ youth crisis line could be deadly. And the president is weighing military action as Israel-Iran strikes enter day 7, the latest on his war decision. Social Security could go broke sooner than expected. We'll tell you what the impact to your retirement could be. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Carter. On this Thursday, June 19th, 2025, we'll send it over to meteorologist Art Jarrett. The heat is being turned up as we speak.
Yes, it is. Exactly. It's going to be warmer. 80s now, 90s by the weekend. Good morning to you, Alexandra, and good morning to you at home. We also have, again, this weekend, we have an alert day due to extreme heat watch that's coming into play. We'll also find ourselves with more storms coming in for next week as well. You'll also find showers and storms trying to get back into the forecast. We get into later in the afternoon into the evening hours. You'll see that start along I-94 working down to I-90, and eventually as we go overnight going into Friday, more showers and storms. Those ridge riders coming in, bring in more overnight showers and storms, trying to get back into the area, finishing out all the way through the daytime, and then once again into the latter portion of the overnight hours from Friday going into Saturday. That's going to last all the way, lifting up northward and out of the region as we finish out by the late morning hours. Hey, highs for Thursday, we're looking at those low to middle 80s in the forecast with plenty of sunshine today. Yes, we may see a storm or two possibly coming in, but right now you're not seeing anything on the wall right there. Same for La Crosse as well. Look at all that sunshine, man. 80s on the way for you. We're also going to find yourselves with Friday looking at the potential for severe weather popping in, but we'll also have the possibility of breezy and gusty winds with temperatures widespread in the 80s. You have that look as you go into it, low risk for severe weather. That changes on Friday, though, with a slight risk of severe weather to the north and all the way down to areas by Winona. For La Crosse, all the way down to Prairie du Chien, it is a low risk. More of that low risk again for the northern portion or northern tier of the area as we finish out for Saturday morning. Back to you.
Thank you, Art. This morning, President Trump is warning he may not reach a decision on attacking Iran until the last minute. As we take a live look at the White House this morning, sources there say the plans are already drawn should the U.S. decide to join Israel in its offensive. CBS's Jared Hill has the latest on the growing conflict.
A seventh day of fighting between Israel and Iran, and CBS News has learned President Donald Trump has approved plans to attack Iran as well. That's according to senior U.S. intelligence and defense sources. But so far, no decision on if he'll launch strikes.
I like to make the final decision 1 second before it's due, because things change. I mean, especially with war.
Sources say President Trump is waiting to see if Iran will abandon its nuclear program.
Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I've been saying it for a long time. And I think they were a few weeks away from having one.
The State Department says it started evacuating non-essential personnel and their families from the U.S. Embassy in Israel. It's warning Americans to leave Iran now, as both countries launched more strikes overnight. Iran State TV confirmed that Israel hit a heavy water reactor used in nuclear production. Israel says a medical building was hit by an Iranian missile. Yesterday, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed to win in the end. Iran's supreme leader said his nation will not surrender, and he threatened irreparable damage if the U.S. gets involved. American officials say Iran has prepared to retaliate with strikes on American bases in the Middle East.
It's their war. It's not our war. And I hope it doesn't become our war.
From the White House gates to other cities around the country, protests grew Wednesday, opposing any U.S. involvement in the conflict.
And lawmakers from both parties are now trying to tie Trump's hands on military action. Wisconsin Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin is backing a bill banning the White House from using federal funds for military force without congressional approval. Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are also on board. Baldwin says she agrees with Wisconsinites who don't want American troops sent abroad into another war. And police in Minnesota are investigating another crime at the home where former Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman was murdered, this time a break-in. Police say someone pried off plywood covering a rear window at the Brooklyn Park home. That's where Hortman and her husband were shot and killed over the weekend. The family says nothing was stolen, but neighbors are outraged.
Whoever it was that broke in has no respect for the deceased couple that lived here.
It's horrible. I think it's really horrible. It's hard to put words to it.
Governor Tim Walz and his wife joined a candlelight vigil at the state capitol yesterday. Karen Reed cleared of murder in her retrial. She was accused of drunkenly killing her boyfriend, John O'Keefe, a Boston cop, leaving him to die in snow in 2022. She beat the murder and hit and run charges, but she was convicted of drunk driving. Her family reacted to the split verdict.
We never believed that she was guilty of this, and it's hard when you believe in your whole heart that somebody's innocent and other people don't, and they're trying to punish her for something we never believed she did.
Reed was sentenced to 1 year probation and no jail time. A suspect is in custody for scamming elderly residents. Mitshi Kumar Shadari is accused of targeting Rusk County seniors with threatening calls, emails, and texts. He allegedly posed as government or law enforcement, demanding payment to avoid arrest. If you think you were targeted, contact local police. Social Security is running out of money faster than expected. New projections show the trust fund will be empty by 2034. That's 1 year sooner than predicted. Without congressional action, retirees and disabled Americans would see benefits cut by 19%. Tens of millions depend on those monthly checks. Wisconsin Republicans want to slash university funding by $87 million. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos is backing the cuts to the UW system's $13.7 billion budget. UW officials call the proposed reductions astounding, especially with the state sitting on a $4 billion surplus. Lawmakers have till June 30th to pass a new budget. And the Trump administration cutting the funding for a crisis hotline that has helped more than 1 million people. Starting next month, the 988 suicide crisis line, specialized services for LGBTQ+ youth, will no longer be available. News 8 Now's Grace Monk has the details.
According to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, the federal government will no longer fund the service. Senator Tammy Baldwin was one of the people who helped create the specialized service. She released a statement saying, quote, "Suicide prevention has been and should continue to be a nonpartisan issue. And I call on my Republican colleagues who have long supported this program to fight for these kids too." The service has grown increasingly popular over the years, serving nearly 1.3 million callers since 2022. Amy Kuster from Great Rivers 211 says crisis hotlines do more than people realize.
There are a number of callers out there that that this is their lifeline, is to connect to another human being. And with that not being there, I could see, individuals facing a whole lot more isolation.
Unlike 988, Great Rivers 211 is funded by local organizations. Programs like the service line come with challenges.
Calls are definitely getting more complex. There's a lot of people with a lot of different needs. There's unfortunately less services available in the community than there used to be.
The executive director of RIMES, a local resource for youth in crisis, says cutting the service could leave some without help.
I think cuts for any kids mean that their condition is not necessarily going to get any better. It's not necessarily going to improve. So we may have youth in here who have no connection with family. They have no support systems.
In situations like this, local programs can help pick up the slack. But as crisis programs and funding for them continue to disappear, Cunningham worries they'll suffer a similar fate.
If we don't get the funding that we need due to these cuts, we won't be able to remain open. So it's very scary because I hate to think of where these kids will go and what supports they'll have.
Grace Monk, News 8 Now this morning.
The administration says the crisis line will be available until July 17th. La Crosse could get 200 new apartments on the north side. The Bridgeview Plaza project goes before the design committee tomorrow. The complex would sit between Blue Zone Pickleball and Harbor Freight. Plans include underground parking, a courtyard with walking paths, and a sports bar. Adaptive water skiing hitting La Crosse waters today. The River City Water Ski Show team is teaching people with disabilities how to ski. It's a day after their spectacular free show packed Airport Beach last night. The volunteer group has been amazing crowds for 50+ years.
First show of the 2025 season. After last season, we were kind of washed out by the high water, so looking forward to having a lot more shows this year.
The group is set to perform another ski show 7 p.m. next Wednesday. Time now is 6:09. Still to come on your morning news. The NTSB issuing a warning to Boeing. We'll have those details. Home building hitting a low we haven't seen since the pandemic. And check your cough syrup for a recall. Gas prices on their way up because of the growing conflict in the Middle East, but it's not just your car that's affected. Coming up, we'll explain how prices on everything could rise some more. And for now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Today is Juneteenth, Freedom Day, marking the end of slavery in America. The day honors when Union troops rode into Galveston, Texas in 1865 and announced that enslaved African Americans were free 2.5 years after Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. And the Juneteenth flag is also flying over the Wisconsin state capitol today. Here it was going up yesterday. This morning, Mayor Shondell Washington Spivey will raise La Crosse's Juneteenth flag at City Hall, making history there as our city's first black mayor. Stay with us. We will be right back after this. First, though, we're going to take a live look at Galveston, the port of Galveston this morning. This is where Juneteenth started 160 years ago today when Union troops rode to announce freedom for enslaved African Americans. Of course, a moment that changed America forever. And today, that same spirit of freedom lives on. Thousands are expected here to celebrate later on. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This 4th of July at Home Sleep Express, raise the bar on your sleep and get up to $500 off and a free $300 shopping card on select Tempur-Pedic mattresses. And pay no interest for 5 years. Plus, get free delivery and setup. The Tempur-Pedic 4th of July sale at Home Sleep Express.
You're young, but your bathroom is old. I get it. I visit my kids, grandkids, my precious great-grandkids. Doesn't fit their lifestyle. Not safe. Old and ugly. You'll be amazed at the transformation you can make in just a few days. New tub and shower with all new fixtures, new toilet, new sink and vanity, new flooring, at an investment much less than you might think. Call the Board Store Home Improvements today for a prompt free estimate on your new bathroom.
If nagging, persistent joint pain has upended your life, listen, there's a solution for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics uses a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue in your knees, shoulders, hips, and more. QC Kinetics targets the source of your pain, not just the symptoms. Thousands of patients have experienced life-changing results, and they're right here. Find out if you're a candidate for this game-changing therapy. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation.
I'm Jordan Rudolph, and I'm the owner of Unity Fitness. We just won Best Gym in Lacrosse and Best Personal Trainer in Lacrosse for the Best of in 2025. As our mission to serve and help have a positive influence on so many people, we can't thank you enough, the voters, for having our back and helping us spread that mission forward into helping more people in the area.
Thank you so much for trusting us with your goals and for 10 years of support.
We view people as more than a before and after. To see if you're the right fit for us or if we're the right fit for you, head over to unityfitnesspro.com and book your free discovery call with us today.
As your local Touchstone Energy Cooperative, we wear many hats. We take pride in serving our members and our community by going the extra mile in everything we do. Because we not only work here, we live here. Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, your source for power and information.
I do like knowing the person that's sitting across from my desk. I've formed a lot of relationships over the years based on trust. When I see the look on a member's face, when I say, yes, this loan is good, you're good to go, it makes me happy. To me, being the team you can trust is honesty. When you do a loan with me at Firefighters Credit Union, like everything we do, it's not about the car, it's about you.
'Cause everybody's welcome at Firefighters Credit Union.
During the summer patio sale at Home Seasonal Concepts, when you spend $6.99 or more on patio, you'll get a $100 MasterCard rewards card and get an additional $100 rewards card for every additional $1,000 spent. The summer sale, now at Home Seasonal Concepts.
All right, welcome back as we get into another overview of how this all shapes up for your day today. You're looking at La Crosse all the way through the afternoon, looking pretty sunny getting into the evening as well. Drier conditions may uphold, but we do have the possibility of some spotty showers bringing in a storm or two as well. You see it for Eau Claire up along I-94, about a 30% chance rolling into the middle evening and late night getting into the overnight hours. We also have the extreme heat popping into the picture, hazy, hot, sunny going into your weekend, and that means we're going to be seeing an alert day as well kicking in. The heat index, well, it's going to feel like it's about 103 to about 102 degrees on your skin. Yikes, right? And that's for Saturday and Sunday. And so that extreme heat could really bring in the possibility of dangerous conditions as well. We'll carry over for the hottest locations going south along I-90 as well, where we'll see numbers getting up to at least the upper 90s in your forecast, possibly for Saturday and Sunday, where the morning temperatures will be above the 70s or in the 70s and higher going into your forecast. So very little recovery happening in your evening hours as well, or morning hours to your evening hours. Look for Saturday getting into the lows to be in the 69-degree mark to about 77. Could be a record-breaking low as well as you get into Saturday, by the way. That could break a new record. In fact, we'll also see Sunday similar conditions where that too could possibly beat a new record warm temperature for the lows. 79 degrees possible into your morning hours for sunrise. We go into the current temperatures right now, 59 degrees. You can see the big difference here to at least the low 60s in your forecast. So we'll get into the 80s today with increasing temperatures getting up into those 90s, as I mentioned, for 96 to 97 degrees for your weekend. Be safe.
In our morning consumer news, the National Transportation Safety Board issuing a rare urgent safety bulletin warning of potential problems with the Boeing 737 MAX. The recommendation follows 2 incidents on Southwest Airlines flights that hit birds. The NTSB found issues with the engines that, when damaged, can cause smoke to enter the cabin and cockpit. The agency is also recommending modifications to engine software. Construction in new homes fell to a 5-year low in May amid growing concerns about economic stress. Housing starts fell nearly 10% from April to May. It hasn't been that low since May 2020 when the pandemic stalled the housing market. The drop comes as a shortage of homes for sale and persistently high mortgage rates continues to keep many buyers from the market. If you have little ones at home, check your medicine cabinets right now. Little Remedies honey cough syrup, here it's on the screen. It's been contaminated, officials say, with dangerous bacteria. The company is recalling all of these 4-ounce bottles sold nationwide through June 4th. If you have this syrup, throw it out immediately. All bottles still with an expiration are part of the recall. And your wallet is about to take another hit this summer. I feel like I say that every day. Gas prices are climbing now because of the Middle East conflict, but it's not just your car that'll be affected. Diesel is also spiking. That means higher costs for trucks hauling your groceries and other goods. Jen Sullivan explains why everything you buy could get even more expensive.
As the conflict between Israel and Iran escalates, the price of oil is rising, and it means Americans are paying more for gas.
Oil prices last Friday jumped 8%.
Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy says anytime there's a conflict in the Middle East, it creates uncertainty and disrupts global energy markets.
The knee-jerk reaction for the market is oil prices jump.
DeHaan says the national average for a gallon of regular gas could go up between 10 to 25 cents over the next few weeks. As of Wednesday, the national average for a regular gallon of gas was $3.19. That's up 7 cents from last week, according to AAA. Prices could go up even more if Iran retaliates by targeting the Strait of Hormuz. It's a critical waterway separating the Persian Gulf from global oceans. Roughly 21 million barrels of oil are transported through the Strait of Hormuz every day.
That is about 20% of what's consumed globally. So a blockade or military activity in the Strait of Hormuz could be extremely problematic for the price of oil.
Here's another concern. DeHaan says the price of diesel could increase as much as 40 cents over the next 2 weeks. And when diesel prices rise, experts say consumers could see prices across the board go up because it costs companies more to transport goods.
If this situation continues to spiral out of control, you could see businesses that rely on things like crude oil, diesel, jet fuel, and gasoline start to incur a much more increased cost, and that could eventually filter down to motorists.
The good news is DeHaan does not think gas prices will rise as much as they did last summer.
Let's look at your consumer news. We'll send it over to Art now. He's got an update on our forecast.
Okay, as we get into it here, let's take a quick peek. I want to show you back again, holding on to the moisture in the atmosphere or lack thereof. Now we're seeing a lot of that kind of skedaddle to the eastern portion of Wisconsin. Down to the south, though, you see an area of low pressure cutting down all the way between St. Louis and Chicago, driving that brown color there. That is your drier air. And more of that continues to break down as we go all the way down southward towards Wichita as well. So the drier air is kind of moving into the south today. We have a low risk of severe weather. We also have storm activity trying to come in from the northwest. As that gradually does, it will slip in and bring in the potential for a slight risk of severe weather for Friday and a low risk down to the southern portions as well as the central portion of our forecast region here locally. And then, of course, on Saturday morning, we're also finding ourselves getting into the overnight hours there for Friday going into Saturday. You're looking at, again, a slight risk for severe weather, which is a low risk for the morning hours once again. We'll get into it. Mild conditions starting in the morning, getting into warm, hot, and hazy conditions into the afternoons for the next couple of days. It will be ridiculously hot for this weekend. You're going to have to remember to stay weather aware because you're going to be seeing the heat potential could increase as we go into the weekend as well. So please be careful. Don't forget to hydrate. And of course, we have the storm activity, so stay weather aware and be able to get indoors if you can. Highs for Thursday, you're looking at low to middle 80s. Riding back into the forecast areas, you get into it, you're looking at 80s for at least 6:15 p.m. this evening, holding on to the possibility of more showers and storms coming in for I-94 from Ladysmith to Eau Claire, dropping down all the way into the 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock hour for tonight. Then more clouds try to increase as we see more clouds trying to come in from the west. Gradually, they begin to fizzle out slowly but surely. They come back again overnight going into the 3 o'clock hour, back again up to the north for Ladysmith by 5 o'clock going to the 6 o'clock hour for your morning commute. And then eventually the storms that are supposed to cross the Mississippi River coming in from the west, they once again fizzle. So we see more showers going to Black River Falls, Sparta, Vogue Field, Wisconsin Rapids, Ladysmith again all the way to Green Bay, and we're up and out, drier conditions with more showers and storms coming back Friday night through Saturday, getting in the morning, wee hours of the morning, and that continues on, lifting up out of the region and then continuing to go all the way into at least sunrise, possibly going into the noon hour, but well out of the region. Highs for Friday, you're looking at temperatures from upper 70s to the upper 80s. Big time temperatures rolling in as we go into Friday. Saturday's highs, widespread 90s in your forecast, and we'll do the same as we get into Sunday as well, where temperatures will be from 91 all the way up to about 97 degrees. La Crosse is the big winner there. Eau Claire is at 94 degrees with a whole lot of hot sunshine. We're looking at what it'll feel like on your skin, 103 to 102 for Saturday going into Sunday. And as we roll into the forecast, that is an alert day, reminding you of that, carrying over into the next 8 days. Again, alert day for Saturday and Sunday. More showers and storms ramping up from Monday into Tuesday through midweek and into Thursday, possibly Friday of next week as well. Back to you.
All right, Art, thank you. A suicide hotline that saved more than 1 million lives is getting cut by the Trump administration. We'll have a reaction from local mental health workers.
It's never too late to dive into a healthy lifestyle. I'm Stephanie Stahl with the benefits of learning to swim at every age.
Coming up in the Blitz, the Aquinas Blue Golds back at the state baseball tournament. Highlights from their semifinal bout with Seymour, plus the Steam in action up in Wausau. After this.
To 60% off list at the 4th of July blowout at Slumberland Furniture. 6 select recliners, just $4.99 each. Get an Ashley sofa for just $3.49. The 4th of July blowout ends soon.
Get an 11% rebate on everything when you shop at Menards. We carry a huge selection of automotive maintenance products. CleanDep is a diesel exhaust fluid approved for use in all diesel SCR engines. Get a 2.5-gallon jug for $6.99 after rebate. Secure what matters most with SmartStrap's innovative line of ratchet tie-down products. Get this 4-pack featuring durable military-grade construction. Only $24.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Slow down.
Cut! I get it. Slow motion. Slow down geographic atrophy. But we don't need gimmicks.
Stick to the facts. GA, the advanced form of dry AMD, can irreversibly damage your vision.
But Syfovre is an FDA-approved eye injection that gives you the power to slow GA.
Syfovre was proven to slow GA lesion growth over 2 years with increasing effect over time. It's the only treatment to slow GA in as few as 6 doses per year.
Don't take Syfovre if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye that may include pain and redness or are allergic to it. Syfovre can cause severe allergic reactions. Other serious side effects are eye infection and retinal detachments, severe inflammation of vessels in the retina, which may result in severe vision loss, wet AMD, eye inflammation, and an increase in eye pressure. Most common side effects are eye discomfort, wet AMD, small specks floating in vision, and blood in the white of the eye. Tell your doctor right away if you have any side effects.
Act on facts to slow GA. Ask your retina specialist about Syfovre. Nope, just the facts.
Up to 60% off list at Slumberland. Get this limited time deal, a Sealy Queen mattress starting at just $299. No one sells Sealy for less. Plus our 365-night sleep guarantee. Only at Slumberland.
It's an easy puzzle to solve. The one app your phone can't live without. Bringing you local news, sports, streaming video, and a lot more. The News 8 Now app. Get it today. Oh, and good job on the puzzle. News 8 Now Sports.
Welcome to the Blitz. Last year, Aquinas was one of 4 teams in the state to end their season with a win as they were state champions in Division III. Due to the performance factor, the Blue Golds bumped up to Division II this season back at Fox City Stadium for the state tournament for the 3rd season in a row. Aquinas' 9th appearance at state, looking to advance to the championship game for the 8th time yesterday, taking on Seymour, who was there for the first time in school history. Pick things up in the top of the 2nd, scoreless until Brandon Potch steps in with a runner on 3rd. Flares one into shallow center to make it 1-0 Thunder. Blue Golds with a counterpunch at their next at-bat. Isaac Shelfout led off the inning with a double, and he scores on this wild pitch to tie things up. Then Ryan Johnson later in the at-bat doing his job at the dish with a fly ball to center, and that would be deep enough to plate Waylon Hargrove, and Aquinas would go up by 1, but Seymour would tie it back up in the 3rd inning and then strike again in the 5th. Carson Staffel loops one to put the Thunder back in front as twin brother Caden scores. Seymour would not look back from there. The Blue Gold Bats get limited to just 3 hits in the contest, and their season comes to a close in the state tournament semifinals. Lacrosse team taking on the Ignite last night in Wausau, and the Steam came in with something to prove. Runner at 3rd here, sharply hit to 2nd, clean fielding and out, but the runner scores, and that was just the beginning of the scoring. Grace Frichette up with 2 on, split short in 3rd for a 2-run hit. Just a monster inning for Lacrosse. Avery Makaravich adding to the tally as she plugs the gap. 11-run first for Lacrosse. Wausau then needing to dig themselves out of a bit of a hole, but that is tough to do when the defense is out there making plays like this. Terrific diving catch by Jackie Larson. Steam take this one convincingly, 19-6 the final over the Ignite. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll catch you back here later tonight.
All the financial benefits are awesome. And then on top of that, it's green energy.
We have project managers that will walk you through the process, keep you informed along the way, and make sure that the communication is the best that it can be.
The 30% solar tax credit could end in 2025. If you want to install solar on your residential or commercial property and receive this tax credit, call 608-780-2347 to get solar and get saving with Olson Solar Energy today.
This river wasn't dammed in a day, and GMC trucks weren't built overnight. Like every American achievement, they are a result of dedication. Over 100 years dedicated to the art of engineering and the ambition to always move this country forward.
Or get 0% APR plus $2,600 total value on this Sierra 1500 model.
Visit your best choice GMC dealer today.
This is Arby's $7 Euro meal. Do the Greeks have a god of meat? If they don't, is there a form we need to fill out? A number to call? Arby's, we have the meat.
Find comfort in your world in a stressless recliner. Take a time out, have a seat, and enjoy a special offer from Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota. Save in an instant on stressless furniture at Drury's in Fountain. Right now, get a $100 instant rebate for every $1,000 you spend on any qualifying stressless recliner, sofa, or sectional, designed with the world's most innovative comfort features. Don't wait. It's time for stressless On sale now at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota.
Taste a sweet strawberry, a Jolivet strawberry. Stop by Jolivet Family Farms Market today for some fresh Jolivet's homegrown strawberries. Available 7 days a week in the market. Check for availability. Jolivet's also features a large selection of fresh vegetables and homegrown produce. There is no sweeter strawberry in the world than a Jolivet strawberry. Only at Jolivet Family Farms, West Salem.
First you hear it, then you feel it. That's the crunchy, melt-in-your-mouth feeling of Ritz Toasted Chips.
I have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, but thanks to Skyrizi and clearer skin, I'm all in. With Skyrizi, I saw dramatically clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free.
Don't use if allergic. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and TB. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
With Skyrizi, nothing on my skin means everything. Ask your dermatologist about Skyrizi today. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
The First Warn Weather app. Download it today.
Showers and storms today, extreme heat coming in for the weekend, and more storms on the way. More about that for you in just a moment.
Right now, this morning, Trump cuts a suicide hotline that's helped more than 1 million people. Why local mental health workers say eliminating the LGBTQ youth crisis line could be deadly. And President Trump is weighing military action, continuing to do so. As Israel-Iran strikes enter day 7, we'll have the latest on his war decision. The FDA is giving the green light to a new drug designed to combat HIV. We'll have those details just ahead. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Alexandra Carter. On this Thursday, June 19th, we will send it over to meteorologist Art Jarrett. Art, you're the man of the day. Everyone wants to know what's going on. It's getting hot out there.
It's going to be hot. Yeah, it's going to be hot for the weekend. Yeah, gradually starting out for this for the next couple of days for today and for Friday. Breezy conditions coming up for Friday as well with storm activity on the way. Take a look right now. We have some morning storms kind of tracking out of areas by Prairie du Chien, heading eastward and southeastward. We're also seeing up to the north by Eau Claire, going into Ladysmith, some light showers happening right now, or at least some mist and drizzle out of the forecast. We can see them continue to lift up into storm activity going towards Green Bay. Then again, by 6 p.m., they continue to ramp up over the area by Ladysmith and Eau Claire, kicking along I-94, dropping down towards Black River Falls, Sparta, as well, maybe brushing La Crosse, getting into the overnight hours and to the morning for Friday. As you can see, more showers and storms trying to get back. It looks impressive coming in from the west from Mason City, but they all back off before we get a little bit of light mist and drizzle in the morning for La Crosse, finishing out in the morning hours with more showers and storms going into areas by Eau Claire as well as Ladysmith, and then a drier afternoon ensuing with more showers and storms coming in for Friday night, carrying in overnight going into Saturday as we roll right through the overnight hours into the wee hours of the morning for Saturday. How about this though? 80s today expected, low to middle 80s in the forecast with a whole lot of sunshine. You'll see that for Eau Claire with limited showers in the afternoon, but we may see some showers coming back again in storm activity in the evening. Same for La Crosse as well. We get into highs for today. We're looking at maybe for Friday, upper 70s to around the upper 80s in the forecast, but temperatures will continue to rise as we go into the weekend, as well as the possibility of severe weather in your forecast. Back to you.
Thank you, Art. This morning, President Donald Trump is warning he may not reach a decision on attacking Iran until the last minute. As we take a live look at the White House this morning, sources there say plans are already drawn should the U.S. decide to join Israel in its offensive against Iran. CBS News' Jared Hill has the latest on the growing conflict.
A seventh day of fighting between Israel and Iran, and CBS News has learned President Donald Trump has approved plans to attack Iran as well. That's according to senior U.S. intelligence and defense sources. But so far, no decision on if he'll launch strikes.
I like to make the final decision 1 second before it's due, because things change. I mean, especially with war.
Sources say President Trump is waiting to see if Iran will abandon its nuclear program.
Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I've been saying it for a long time. And I think they were a few weeks away from having one.
The State Department says it started evacuating non-essential personnel and their families from the U.S. Embassy in Israel. It's warning Americans to leave Iran now, as both countries launched more strikes overnight. Iran State TV confirmed that Israel hit a heavy water reactor used in nuclear production. Israel says a medical building was hit by an Iranian missile. Yesterday, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed to win in the end. Iran's supreme leader said his nation will not surrender, and he threatened irreparable damage if the U.S. gets involved. American officials say Iran has prepared to retaliate with strikes on American bases in the Middle East.
It's their war. It's not our war. And I hope it doesn't become our war.
From the White House gates to other cities around the country, protests grew Wednesday, opposing any U.S. involvement in the conflict.
Lawmakers from both parties are now trying to tie the president's hands on military action. That includes Wisconsin Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin. She's backing a bill that would ban the White House from using federal funds for military force without congressional approval. Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are also on board. Baldwin says she agrees with the Wisconsinites who say they don't want American troops sent abroad into another war. And police are investigating another crime at the home where former Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband were murdered. This time a break-in. Police say somebody pried off plywood covering a rear window at the Brooklyn Park home. Hortman and her husband were shot and killed there over the weekend. The family says nothing was stolen, but neighbors are outraged.
Whoever it was that broke in has no respect for the deceased couple that lived here.
It's horrible. I think it's really horrible. It's hard to put words to it.
Governor Tim Walz and his wife, you see them here, joined a candlelight vigil for Hortman at the state capitol yesterday. Karen Reed cleared of murder in her retrial. She was accused of drunkenly killing her boyfriend, a Boston cop, leaving him to die in a snowbank in 2022. Reed beat the murder and hit and run charges, but she was convicted of drunk driving. Her family reacted to the split verdict.
We never believed that she was guilty of this, and it's hard when you believe in your whole heart that somebody's innocent and other people don't, and they're trying to punish her for something we never believed she did.
Reed was sentenced to 1 year probation and no jail time. A suspect is in custody for scamming elderly residents. Mike Chudahari is accused of targeting Russ County seniors with threatening calls, emails, and texts. He allegedly posed as government or law enforcement, demanding payment to avoid arrest. If you think you were targeted, contact local police. And Social Security, turns out, is running out of money faster than expected. New projections show the trust fund will be empty by 2034. That's 1 year sooner than predicted. That's also pretty soon. Without congressional action, retirees and disabled Americans would see benefits cut by 19%. Tens of millions depend on those monthly checks. Wisconsin Republicans, meantime, want to slash university funding by $87 million. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos is backing cuts to the UW system's $13.7 billion budget. UW officials call the proposed reductions astounding, especially with the state sitting on a $4 billion surplus. Lawmakers have until the end of the month to pass a new budget, or spending will freeze at its current levels. The federal government is cutting a dedicated suicide prevention line for LGBTQ+ individuals. The Department of Health and Human Services is eliminating the specialized service. The general 988 line will still be available for anyone in crisis, but the executive director of RIMES, a local youth crisis resource, warns the cuts could leave some without the help they need.
I think cuts for any kids mean that their condition is not necessarily going to get any better. It's not necessarily going to improve. So we may have youth in here who have no connection with family. They have no support systems.
The administration says the crisis line will be available until July 17th. In your morning medical news, summer is finally here. More Americans of all ages are picking up a life skill that boosts fitness and, for some, happiness. CBS's Stephanie Stahl shows us more.
Amelia Maya is learning to swim one lap at a time.
I always wanted to swim, of course, as a child.
She says growing up in Portugal, her parents kept her away from the water. They didn't swim, so neither did she. But now, at 58 years old, she's diving right in.
I feel that I'm getting there.
There it is.
The fear factor is hard to shake off, especially with older swim students. That's where Drexel University instructor Rob Heller comes in.
I think what we're looking to do is get rid of fear. At any age, what is it to make someone comfortable where they are? Short of water up their nose, it's going to be okay.
CDC data shows 55% of U.S. adults have never taken a swimming lesson.
We need to understand the first rule of swimming, which is to float first and swim second. If you can relax, you can float. And if you float, then we can work on the mechanics of swimming.
Health experts say swimming is a low-impact workout that benefits both the mind and body.
The breathing and getting the heart rate up, there's no impact typically in the water. And it just feels good.
And those positive effects are flowing like water into Maya's everyday life.
It just makes me happy. It makes me smile. It makes me feel good about me.
As she improves her swim game,
I always say give it a try. And don't give up.
Maya hopes to one day scuba dive with her adult son.
It's a dream.
And the World Health Organization says about 300,000 people drown every year worldwide. The vast majority of drownings happen in low and middle income countries. The FDA, meanwhile, approving a breakthrough HIV prevention shot. Gilead's lenacapavir is a twice-a-year injection that cuts HIV infection risk by 96%. The drug was already approved to treat HIV. Now it can prevent it, too. Depending on insurance, it could take up to 2 months to get your first shot. Moms, you're not imagining it. You really are doing most of the work. A new report shows women handle a whopping 71% of household mental tasks. That means things like meal planning and organizing activities, the things that never end, while dads manage 45%. Dr. Sue Varma joined CBS Mornings to talk about this invisible labor and how partners can step up.
To be able to be an equal partner, it really means getting in there from the very beginning, right? So I don't want to have to give you a list to delegate. I want you to be a part of the conversation. So coming to the table and saying, what can I own? What responsibility, right? So the sports, the musical equipment, the scheduling, can I be a part of it? Can I do the pickup? Rolling your sleeves up, getting there at the dishes and unloading them before you need to be asked.
Health experts say carrying the mental load can often lead to anxiety, sleep disturbances, and increased irritability. We'll send it over to meteorologist Art Jarrett now. He's got a look at that piping hot morning commute.
Yeah, I know, right? And speaking of piping hot, let's take a look at the planner here. I'm going to pop this back up here so you can see what's happening. A whole lot of sunshine today as we finish out the afternoon, going into the evening. Not much in the way of storm activity for La Crosse, but we may see a few pop in eventually, just like you will for Eau Claire later on in the evening hours, popping in from the northwest. And of course, we'll see that continue on possibly in the morning. We're also going to find ourselves getting into some hot and hazy conditions in the forecast here. As you can see, the extreme heat watch coming in for the weekend, and that heat is really going to be picking up. Take a look as you get into the heat index for Friday. That's up to about 90 degrees, and that's just after the 9 o'clock hour. You get into Saturday, and you're looking at the heat getting up to about 105 degrees plus in some cases, maybe. We'll also find ourselves getting into Sunday with similar conditions. The thing is, though, this may be a little bit off because Sunday is going to be a little bit on the warmer side as well. You're looking at 103 to about 102 for the forecast today. We may see Sunday's temperatures get up to about a degree or so warmer in the forecast for you. So it could be fairly similar, as you can see, like a degree or two. Hot heat alert coming in as we get into it for the weekend. You're looking at the indices at 95 to about 105 degrees for Saturday and Sunday. All areas are going to be hot, but the hottest are going to be south of I-90. And this is why. We get into Saturday's lows, you're going to be seeing very little recovery working in the forecast. Potentially a record-breaking warmth low coming in around 78 degrees for La Crosse. We could see Sunday's lows again, very little recovery in the 70s, upper 70s for your low for Sunday, possibly another record-breaking number in the forecast. Current temperatures right now are in the 50s and the 60s, so you can see the complete difference. Pop in the temperatures coming in for this weekend. You're looking at, again, 96 to about 97 degrees. Yikes, back to you.
Yikes indeed. And coming up in your Morning Buzz report, multiple upcoming tours are launching in September. We'll have a look at what bands and where to find tickets.
What will you find at Hazel and Lola's Kitchen Boutique? Everything you need and more. See our selection of Polish pottery, cookware, olive oils and vinegar, and our gadget wall. Hazel and Lola's Kitchen Boutique, located inside Wesco and Sparta. Tell them Peyton sent you.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. A heartbeat strong, steady, unwavering, like the people who keep this country moving. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. In every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Now, get $4,250 cash allowance. Plus, $2,250 in trade assistance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. That's 10% below MSRP.
If nagging, persistent joint pain has upended your life, listen, there's a solution for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics uses a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue in your knees, shoulders, hips, and more. QC Kinetics targets the source of your pain, not just the symptoms. Thousands of patients have experienced life-changing results, and they're right here. Find out if you're a candidate for this game-changing therapy. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation.
Red, white, and new. It's time to refresh your space for less at the King Furniture pre-4th of July savings event. Save up to 50% on an entire room of beautiful new furniture. Living rooms, bedrooms, dining, you name it. Find mattress closeout deals on overstocked inventory and special factory closeout Lazy Boy recliners at prices too good to sit out. Plus, when you trade in your old furniture, get a discount on new. We'll even deliver and haul away for free. It's the King Furniture pre-4th of July savings event going on now.
I'm Jordan Rudolph, and I'm the owner of Unity Fitness. We just won Best Gym in Lacrosse and Best Personal Trainer in Lacrosse for the Best of in 2025. As our mission to serve and help have a positive influence on so many people, we can't thank you enough, the voters, for having our back and helping us spread that mission forward into helping more people in the area.
Thank you so much for trusting us with your goals and for 10 years of support.
We view people as more than a before and after. To see if you're the right fit for us or if we're the right fit for you, head over to unityfitnesspro.com and book your free discovery call with us today.
Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin is so ready for summer. Right on the Mississippi River, a perfect spot for fishing and fun. Surrounded by scenic bluffs and some of the best hiking and camping around, there's so much to explore. You can experience Prairie du Chien's fascinating history and unwind with live music events that feature the vibe you're looking for. Book your place to stay and discover more at prairieduchien.org.
Welcome to Hazel and Lola's Kitchen Boutique. Whether you're a gourmet cook or an aspiring foodie, we have something for your style and taste. See our selection of gourmet cookware, bakeware, and appliances. Hazel and Lola's Kitchen Boutique. Stop in today and tell them Peyton sent you.
All right, let's get into your forecast here. I'm going to show you real quick, holding on to the heat indices once again, as I showed you what's coming in for this weekend. You're going to be looking at temperatures for Friday holding on to at least up to 90 degrees. That's after 6 o'clock. Once you get into Saturday, the heat's really going to progress, getting up to about 105 for the heat index. Your local temperature is going to continue to warm up, as you can see, getting up to possibly about 96 degrees. We'll hold on to Sunday, possibly about a 97-degree temperature, where you can see the heat index is going to feel like it's about 100 degrees or so in the forecast as well, possibly rising up to about 103, 104 degrees, and then tapering down by the 6 o'clock hour. I have this heat index here showing you 103 to 102. That's what it'll feel like on your skin over the weekend. And then as we go right into it, you're looking at the dangerous alert day. As you can see, the heat indices between 95 and 105 degrees. Near record highs overnight as lows. In fact, we'll see again, all areas are going to be hot, but the hottest are going to be south of I-90. We'll carry over into the forecast. As you can see, the lows in the morning with very little recovery in your forecast for 78 degrees for your lows for Saturday. In fact, you're going to be seeing the possibility of Sunday's lows around 79 degrees for La Crosse, and that too will be a record-breaking number if this still holds true. We'll get into current temperatures right now. As I mentioned before, we're looking at numbers to be at least in the 50s and the 60s right now, so you can see how the difference is going to be as far as little recovery coming in for your weekend, with 70s in the forecast to near 80-degree heat. And as we go into how it all shows up for the remainder of the next 5 days, 88 degrees for Friday, 96 degrees for the high getting into Saturday and Sunday, 97 degrees possible, 88 for Monday with storm activity returning, as well as 82 degrees for more storms coming back again as we go into Tuesday. We'll take take into account what's happening for your forecast as we roll right into the next few days. We're going to find ourselves getting into the possibility of more rain in your forecast. And with that happening, I'm going to take you to it right here. Let's show you some of that rainfall coming into the forecast. We'll take it right into account as we roll into it here. As this pops back in, you're going to be seeing by Saturday some storms coming in for Saturday, but mostly overnight, and they're well out of the region. Sunday, you're going to see more storms coming back again by the overnight hours, carrying over into overnight storms for Monday coming in the morning. That continues to bring at least the possibility of morning rainfall, afternoon rainfall as well for your lunch, getting into your evening commute as well. We'll also see as we go into 3 a.m. more showers and storms coming back for La Crosse, carrying over to more wet mornings as well in the afternoon and your evening. So all your commutes are going to be wet going through Wednesday. At least you can see that with more storm activity ramping up into your forecast. We're looking at about a 70% chance for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of rain and storm activity. Increasing as we go to Thursday, a possibility of that. It's only a 50% chance, but the storms are edging closer and continue right through the forecast region, with more storms crossing along the northern tier of the area, getting to Eau Claire and Ladysmith to finish out the next few days. That's a look at your forecast. More about that coming up in a moment.
In our Morning Buzz report today, Devo and the B-52s announcing a tour that will hit 11 cities. The punk band partnership comes after both have already performed their own farewell tours. Now the bands will be co-headlining Cosmic De-Evolution, which starts in late September. Devo and the B-52s have never toured together before. A new trailer giving us our first look at Jeremy Allen White as Bruce Springsteen. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, hits theaters in October.
$10 million worth of cocaine and opiates. You realize we've crossed a line. There's no coming back from this. Don't have a meltdown right here in the mud.
A prominent family turns to crime to keep their empire alive in Netflix's The Waterfront. The series premieres today and is based in part on the real-life experiences of its creator. And before we head to break, we want to take a look at today's Look Who's 8. We've got Rocky. He's kicking things off, turning 8 today. He likes to climb trees, ride his bike, and play sports with his friends. And Ashton is turning 18. He enjoys wrestling, baseball, and spending time with his family and friends. Happy birthday to both of you. If you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88, we'd love to feature them. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button. And still ahead, we have everything you need to know in 5 minutes or less. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Tired of hard water and harsh chlorine? Maxwell White Water Conditioning brings you the all-new Dual Media Water Softener. Say hello to softer skin, luxurious hair, and water that feels amazing. Call Maxwell White today, where better water starts here.
I did know that back pain, foot pain come along with the job of waiting tables, but since getting the arch supports from the Good Feet store, I have had no pain. I'm more positive. It's like opening up a whole new life, like sunshine coming out.
See how we can help you too at the Good Feet store.
Drive your story with a new Ram. Take your next adventure in a new Jeep from Pischke Motors.
Get employee pricing plus for a limited time only. Get your favorite Jeep, Ram, Dodge, or Chrysler during the Employee Pricing Plus sales event. Employee pricing for all means anyone can get exclusive employee pricing on these new vehicles. This opportunity won't last long, so stop into Pischke Motors now. This offer ends June 30th. Go to Pischke.com, Pischke Motors West Salem, or Pischke Motors La Crosse.
It's the Hy-Vee Mega Produce Sale, Thursday through Sunday. Get candied cantaloupe, just $1.99. Avocados, just 69 cents. Sweet corn, 4 for $1. Roma tomatoes, 88 cents a pound. Watermelon, just $3.99. Save on strawberries, russet potatoes, and more. Plus, get pre-cut produce. Get the best produce at the lowest prices Thursday through Sunday during the biggest produce sale of the year, only at Hy-Vee.
The heat is on.
And so is Carl's Salute to Savings sale.
Save up to 45% on major appliances.
Get up to $1,000 back with Carl's exclusive rebates. Get this 28 cubic foot refrigerator for only $14.99. See the all-new washer, dryer, combi models.
All TVs are on sale.
Shop our Serta iComfort Eco mattresses.
And our great selection of name brand grills.
Carl's Salute to Savings sale.
Carl's is a servicing dealer since 1956.
News 8 Now wants to help you create memories with your family by watching movies on the big screen. Friday Flicks with Vicki Nichols of Sparta Cinema will tell you all about upcoming must-see blockbusters, plus exclusive deals at the theater. Watch this Friday at 5 a.m. on News 8 this morning, presented by Sparta Cinema.
Maxwell White Water Conditioning is the Coulee region's trusted leader in water conditioning. From hardness to chlorine to iron, we eliminate it all for cleaner and healthier water. When you need the best, call the experts. Call Maxwell White.
The Brewers are coming to the Coulee region.
And there she goes!
Yeah, you heard that right. All summer long, you can catch the Brewers right here and for free. No pay-per-view, no subscription, just good old reliable free TV the way the baseball gods intended it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the action as News 8 now brings you 10 games throughout the summer.
A grand slam for Christian.
The Brewers playing here, you're welcome. The Milwaukee Brewers on News 8 Now.
Expect more from News 8 Now. Thanks for watching.
Some children in Spain getting to meet a real-life pirate yesterday. Johnny Depp showed up to their rooms dressed as Captain Jack Sparrow. Depp's special stop came as the Hollywood star is working on his latest upcoming film titled Day Drinker that stars Penelope Cruz and is directed by Mark Webb. Time now for your morning news now. President Trump still deciding whether to join Israel's attacks on Iranian nuclear sites. CBS News learned Trump approved attack plans Tuesday, but held off on a final decision in case Iran abandons its nuclear program. The president believes Iran is dangerously close to having a nuclear weapon. And the Trump administration is cutting an LGBTQ suicide hotline. The specialized 988 service for LGBTQ plus individuals is being eliminated. The general crisis line remains available, but local youth advocates warn the cut could be deadly for vulnerable teens.
I think cuts for any kids mean that their condition is not necessarily going to get any better. It's not necessarily going to improve. So we may have youth in here who have no connection with family. They have no support systems.
The administration says the crisis line will be available until July 17th. Wisconsin Republicans want to slash university funding by $87 million. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos is backing the cuts to the UW system's $13.7 billion budget. UW officials call the proposed reductions astounding, especially with the state sitting on a $4 billion surplus. Lawmakers have until the end of the month to pass their budget.
A few showers and storms pop into the forecast as we go right into it here. We'll pop it all the way from today all the way into Friday and going into overnight Saturday. A little bit of rainfall down there for La Crosse, but more of that's going to be up north along I-94 for the next few days, so bear that in mind. We'll carry over to increasing heat as we go right into the next few days. You can see Thursday and Friday. It'll feel like 81 degrees on Thursday today, 90 on Friday, but 103 to 102 degrees as we roll right into your weekend. In fact, that's going to pose an alert day for you, where you're going to be seeing that heat, the heat indices feeling like 95 to about 105 degrees on your skin. You'll see that for the weekend with more rainfall headed our way next week.
All right, Art, it's going to be hot out there. We know you'll be tracking it, and we'll look for your update at noon as well. Thank you. And thanks for waking up with us. Coming up at noon today is Juneteenth. La Crosse's first black mayor is about to make history by raising the freedom flag at City Hall. We'll be there live for the historic moment when we see you back here at noon.